Hi everyone, and welcome to part 2 of Resume Help. This video will be talking primarily about how to structure your bullet points and just how to make your content on your resume a lot stronger. I use the XYZ formula as given by Google, which is accomplished X as measured by Y by doing Z. I think that this is a really helpful structure regardless of whether you want to work in tech or not, so I hope you enjoy. In recruiting, the XYZ formula functions very similar to STAR method with 2 R's, which I did a video on a couple weeks ago. And with that, it just tells recruiters instantly what it is that you have done in your past experiences that is going to be valuable to their future company or organization. It puts what you're capable of at the forefront, and so if recruiters only read half of your resume bullet point, they still see as much impact as possible without having to do a deep dive into your resume and really read every single bullet point thoroughly. I think the best way to showcase the difference between a resume that does use XYZ formula versus one that doesn't is to show what my resume looked like before and after learning this awesome tool. The first example that I'm going to use is from an organization called Illinois Sports Business Conference, or ISBC, and my old resume said connected students with leading professionals in the field of sports business through the planning and execution of an annual conference, served as the main communicator between ISBC and high-profile individuals in sports business. And then with my new resume bullet points, I said served as the liaison between ISBC members, the executive board, and 14 high-profile individuals in sports business, and revitalized the organizational structure behind written and verbal communication between the conference and its speakers through 50+ phone calls, 40+ email updates, 3+ timelines, and a comprehensive overview of the conference and speaker roles and responsibilities. Those numbers are totally made up for this example just because I don't actually remember the actual metrics, but you get the point in terms of how the old bullet points differ from the new ones. Now, even if you just read the first couple words within the bullet point, you can clearly see the value that I can bring to the organization or role that I'd be applying for. For example, served as the liaison. I am capable of collaborating with individuals. That is very clear in just reading 3 words within that sentence on my resume. And also revitalize the organizational structure behind written and verbal communication. That instantly tells you that I am a strong communicator, both written-wise and verbally, and I am willing to go the extra mile to make sure that it is strong as possible because I was willing to revitalize it. Those are the first things that a recruiter is going to see when they are reading my resume bullet points, as opposed to before, where the first thing that they were reading was connected students with leading professionals. You don't really know the value that is in that. It's not as clear. And also serving as the main communicator. That doesn't really tell you what my specific communication skills are, versus written and verbal is very clear. One other bullet point example that I have is for an organization that I'm part of that I take pictures and help create graphics. And so I said, create and implement brand strategies through marketing materials such as social media posts and photo shoots. So that was my old bullet point, and my new bullet point says, implemented brand strategies through social media advertising to increase followings by 12% on Facebook, 13% on Twitter, 49% on Instagram, and reach over 6,000 people on Instagram and 50,000 people through Facebook events. So that was something that I had to contact someone in leadership to get the actual metrics for, but it was definitely worth asking more information about it because that allowed me to really improve my resume and my bullet points and clearly showcase the impact that I was able to make. When it comes to measuring your impact, that is something that feels a little bit daunting to do just because not every role that you're going to have will explicitly have metrics for you to report. So it doesn't necessarily have to be direct growth metrics and what the impact it is that you made, but you can also say how many clients you talked to, how many presentations that you gave, how many meetings that you attended, different things like that, that just show the little things that you did and how much it added up and contributed to the overall impact that you had while in that role. When you are thinking of things to add to bullet points, I also really recommend thinking outside of the box. I worked at Disney for a little while at one of their restaurants, and while it wasn't necessarily in my job description to be multilingual, I was using lots of languages each day. That was something that I was really working on, so I made sure to include it on my resume as being able to interact with a global audience and just refine cultural competence and multilinguistic capabilities. So don't be afraid to think outside of the box in terms of what things you are including on your resume, even if it's not part of your official roles and responsibilities. Other ways to add to the content on your resume, I recommend getting certified. There's Google certifications, there's LinkedIn certifications, there's all sorts of things online, and a lot of them are offered as free resources. So definitely take advantage of those and tailor them to your interests and different things that you want to learn more about. Also, having a skills section that allows you to list those certifications as I just talked about, but then also have buzzwords for the job description that you have. Make sure that you're going through and whatever key buzzwords are on the job description, you have some version of that on your resume, especially if that is a role that you really want. You want to make sure that you tailor it, and obviously I don't know how the AI works for those that use that for resume screening before it even gets to a real person, but that is one way that I recommend to get it through, is just to make sure that the buzzwords match. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, leave comments with ideas on how else I can help and things that you'd like me to talk about. And I hope that this video helps you to create a resume that really showcases all you've accomplished and all you have to be proud of.